Um, no, I'm not dead. Exam week was last week, and I just finished up. So, yeah, school's been keeping me too busy to be updating my channel with things. So, I'm back. I have not forgotten about you, loyal viewer, nor have I gotten sick and tired of standing on my soapbox and talking about whatever the hell I want to talk about. So, here I am. Here's my new video. So, um, when us gamers talk about licensed video games, it generally garners an enormous sigh or a from other gamers because, as a rule, they are terrible. For some reason, trying to mix a pre-existing property with video games doesn't work out. Generally, the games are meant as just quick cash-ins to as part of the movie advertising. That's a large part of it. Other times it's because they just are terrible games for some reason or another. You can pretty much count off the good licensed video games on one hand. Batman, Arkham Asylum, and Arkham City. No, I'm not counting that as two. Shut up. Spider-Man 2. Yeah, that's about it. I'd add one more to that list. It's my favorite licensed game. As far as I'm concerned, it's the best licensed game ever made. This has to be tempered with saying that I am a huge fan of the franchise from which it is licensed, and I'll be putting on that huge fan mask for the remainder of this video. So, today's video is about Ghostbusters, the video game. Okay? Ghostbusters, the video game, came out 2009. Wow. 3 years ago already. So, it takes place 2 years after the events of Ghostbusters 2. So, Ghostbusters 2 took place in 1989, New Year's Eve. This one takes place around Thanksgiving of 1991. Finally, the Ghostbusters have been accepted as a vital business. They've been basically contracted by the city to keep New York free of spooks and specters and so forth. And because they arguably provide as vital a service as policemen or firemen. Okay, so they've also been given a huge insurance policy because they tend to deal a lot of damage. And yes, you deal a lot of damage in this game if you want to. Over hundreds of millions of dollars if you want to. Okay? Anyhow, so there's a Gozer exhibit set up at the New York Museum of Natural History, which, if you remember the first movie, is really not a good idea, seeing as Gozer was the big villain of that movie. And as you'd expect, a huge burst of psychokinetic energy, basically the stuff that makes ghosts strong and all the supernatural things happen in the Ghostbusters universe, occurs, and this is detected by the Ghostbusters, so they have to go off and capture a whole bunch of ghosts. Luckily, they've hired a new recruit, the Rookie, who never gets a proper name throughout the game, because, as Venkman puts it, they go through them too fast. There is a high turnover rate. Why this isn't mentioned, but their new rookie has been hired as an equipment tester. He tests all the stuff that Egon deems the main team too dangerous to test on their own. Because if something goes wrong with this new technology, they could be blown all the way to New Jersey. So Rookie's not too happy about this, but you go through it anyhow. And I think this was a really clever move on the part of the developers. Rather than having you play as one of the 4 main Ghostbusters, you play a silent rookie character who has things explained to him or just kind of interacts with things in the Ghostbusters universe, while the other 4 main Ghostbusters are allowed to just be themselves. If you played as one of them, that could have been ruined easily, but since you're just playing as basically yourself in the game, it's all fine. Anyhow, So there's huge bursts of kinetic energy, and you get to visit basically all the set pieces from the first movie. Slimer breaks out again, and you have to go recapture him at the Sedgwick Hotel. It's modeled very, very accurately after the first movie. It's one of the best moments in the game. You have to fight the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man. I think it's explained why he comes back again, and you have to fight him again. A whole bunch of other ghosts. One of the best ones is at the New York Public Library, which is where the Ghostbusters encountered the library ghost in the first movie, and they never managed to catch her, so they're, especially Ray, is very happy that they get to go back and recapture her and do that. Throughout the game, you also cross over into the ghost dimension, and the game does a wonderful job of tying everything into just one cohesive kind of story. Even stuff from the second movie gets tied into events in the first movie, and comes about as a result of Ivo Shandor, who in the first movie modified Dana Barrett's building to act as a conduit for Gozer the Gozerian to come to our world and assume a destructor form. And in this game, it's revealed that he modified a bunch of buildings in New York to act as a mandala that would channel ghosts around New York and eventually give power to a destructor form. The Ghostbusters managed to put a stop to this, and instead their containment unit is breached again, like in the first movie, and once again the ghosts that they've captured are used to fuel the creation of a destructor form, but this time for Ivo Shandor, who becomes the architect, and the Ghostbusters fight him, cross their streams, in one of the most awesome moments of the game, of course. Whenever they cross their streams, it's awesome, and defeat him. It ties everything together nicely. They explain basically where the mood slime in Ghostbusters 2 came from. It was a side result of Ivo Shandor summoning a juvenile slore to our dimension. The mood slime, you get to use it as a weapon for your proton pack, which gains a whole bunch of different weapons throughout the game. Best part, it's written by Dan Aykroyd and Harold Ramis, so it can be considered canon, taking place in the same continuity as the movies, as part of the overarching Ghostbusters canon, which is great. The voice acting's fantastic, aside from Bill Murray, who sounds like he's phoning it in, but honestly, since Venkman's my least favorite Ghostbuster, doesn't really matter. Harold Ramis, Dan Aykroyd, and Ernie Hudson all do a fantastic job as Ray Stantz, Egon Spengler, and Winston Zeddemore, respectively. Walter Peck makes a return. He's a fantastically dickish villain, as he was in the first movie. And no, this is the perfect game for Ghostbuster fans. It makes you feel like you're a Ghostbuster. You get to bust all the ghosts that you wanted. Even Vigo the Carpathian makes an appearance. He's a painting inside the Ghostbusters firehouse, which irked me a little bit since his painting was destroyed at the end of the second movie and replaced with that awesome painting of Ghostbusters, as saints protecting the baby. But small things. It has a lot of shout outs to the real Ghostbusters cartoon series, Extreme Ghostbusters, even fan-made stuff. You can tell a lot of care really went into the game. It's the perfect Ghostbusters game, and if you loved the first movie, you should definitely give it a go. It's the best Ghostbusters experience you're ever going to get. If this third movie never gets made, it's gonna be the best conclusion to the Ghostbusters trilogy. It functions as it's basically a third movie on its own. If the third movie does get made and it sucks, well, we can just deny its existence and say that Ghostbusters the video game was where it ended, and that's fine. So yeah, that's all I really wanted to talk about. So it's nice to be back, and hopefully I'll be able to put up videos at a more reasonable pace in the future, not take long breaks because I have to study. So have a good night, and thanks for watching. Later.